Minions are a type of enemy in Fable, Fable the Lost Chapters, and Fable Anniversary. According to the book Creatures of Albion Book 1, minions were brutal and merciless killing machines bred by the Old Kingdom war gods to attack intruders. During the events of Fable, minions are the demon servants of Jack of Blades. They're heavily armored, excellent fighters, and they are very, very hard to kill. There are only two different kinds of minions that we see in these games. Both kinds are vulnerable to fire, so the Inflame spell is extremely effective against them.
So the first type is the War Dogs. These are the standard type of minion. They have rust brown armor and long double-bladed swords. They have heads that resemble jackals, which are a type of dog for anyone that doesn't know, and their backs are always hunched. In combat, they're excellent blockers. Yep, they are.
Yep, and then the next kind is the Dreadwings, and these are the spellcasters of the minions. They wield sort of crooked staves that they can use when under attack at close range, but they prefer to attack at a distance with an energy casting spell. The Dreadwings can also generate a prison made out of magic, but this is only seen once and is never used during actual combat, and it's just during a cutscene. Dreadwings can also summon others of their kind, or War Dogs specifically, so be sure to take them out first so that they can't summon back up. They have black, silver, and blue armor, and a curious helmet with a pointed visor that resembles a beak. So the Dreadwings obviously based on like crows or something like that, and the War Dogs are jackals.
Yeah. So minions are pretty much the strongest enemy type that is attainable for the summon spell when you're going through that. After the defeat of Jack of Blades, they can then be found as like the randomly spawning enemies roaming in Witchwood. And a War Dog's weapon can be acquired and wielded if the player has the creature weapons and outfits pack. Now, I never knew that. That must be a DLC thing that's come later on, but that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it might only be... Yeah, it's like a standalone DLC with a bunch of weapons and armor that are just cosmetics, I think. I don't think I have it anyways because it's just cosmetics, but I think that would probably look pretty cool.
They're a bit like from like... the MCU, it's a bit like Thanos' weapon, isn't it? It's like a double-ended
because it's
blade.
which is pretty cool. And the other one's kind of crooked, like a.
It always reminds me of like double-ended lollipops.
Yeah.
With the twirly part that when you're like 4 years old and you're drawing lollipops and you
They're
do
the
like
massive swirl ones.
Yeah, that's it.
So summoners are powerful beings created by the dark wizard Halleck. After being cast out of the Old Kingdom for his dangerous willpower, he created the summoners by reanimating the dead bodies of fallen warriors. They are large, armor-clad, and attack using both a large sword and shock spells. In Fable the Lost Chapters and Fable Anniversary, they ally with Jack of Blades for unknown reasons, but I reckon he probably intimidated all of their kind and forced them into servitude of some sort.
Yeah, that's got to be it. Other than just script convenience, obviously. In the book Creatures of the North, you can find Side's handwriting in the book saying they should have faded with the centuries as I have, unless something else has returned them to this world. You can find this book upon your entrance to the Northern Waste foothill. You can also find it in a house in Snowspire.
Yep, so summoners are one of the few enemies in the entire game that do not fall over after a flourish or a powerful spell.
Jack of Blades is insinuated to be the one that binds the summoners to the world, I think from that same handwritten note from Side in the book.
Yep. Once a summoner has taken enough damage to be killed, they will fall to their knees and send off one final shockwave that can actually bring a hero's combat multiplier down to 0.
So annoying.
Very, very annoying, yeah. So just make sure as soon as you send them to their knees, you dash away. Otherwise, you won't get any XP for fighting them because your combat multiplier will just be completely sent back to nothing.
Try to get your combat multiplier even higher. Piss off, you baldy. Anyway, summoners are in no way related to what their names actually imply. They obtained their name from their nature of summoning themselves due to the fact that their origin was from a powerful wizard that was cast out for using dangerous dark magic.
In the Rescue the Archaeologist quest, a minion Dreadwing is mistakenly identified as a summoner, which is pretty cool.
So true. Yeah, when I remember the first time I played through Fable, or the original Fable before Lost Chapters, because they never really existed in the original Fable. I always thought the minions were summoners, because my friend and I, we played it together, from this same mission, it was called a summoner.
Yeah, exactly. So it's quite misleading almost until you look into it later down the line.
Yeah. Summoners do about 3 times as much damage to you if you wear plate armor, presumably because lightning's conductivity to metal. And again, didn't know that, but that makes sense, seeing as I pretty much always wear plate armor and they kick my ass.
That would explain it. I didn't know that at all. Finally, a summoner's sword can actually be acquired and wielded if the player has the creature weapons and outfits pack, similar to before, which is also pretty cool, but I feel like there's a lot of cooler swords, so I feel like where the previous item we talked about, the sort of double-ended war dog weapon, was probably a bit cooler to get out of a DLC pack than just another sword.
So that's really all that we've got from lore and trivia. I mean, I just wanted to say one thing with the summoners. I mean, I think and all in general the minions as well, they're pretty cool enemies, all of them. The summoners especially, there's something about them, and I don't know what it is, but they sort of always reminded me of the ring wraiths from Lord of the Rings a little bit.
Yes, yeah.
They have that quality, especially
Nazgul.
Nazgul, the Nazgul. Yeah, they're pretty cool enemy with their massive swords as well. And
I found the sound they make almost as sort of iconic as how they look. I don't know why, just the sort of creaking of like the metal parts. It's so memorable for me. I don't know.
And they're one of the few enemies that even when you've got like the strongest weapon and you've proper skilled up, like you'll hack at them and they don't fall down, they don't like stagger until you get them on their knees when they then blow up. They're actually a really tough enemy. I put them and the ice trolls, the snow troll, on like equal footing as the most difficult enemy, most difficult enemy that's not a boss enemy in the game.
Yeah, there was one mission I remember especially at the back of like the Headsman Hill, when you're running down to there's like the dock. I think it's a bit before or after Bargate Prison. It's been a little while since I've played, but there are just so many infinitely spawning minions. Like the war dogs and the minions and stuff. Yeah, and they just, oh my gosh, unless you have like one of the really good spells for doing area of effect damage, like the Holy Light one and the
Infernal Wrath
one, you're actually going to get swamped, and it's horrible. It's really dangerous.
Yeah, it's true. No, they're really cool. And each one probably doesn't have enough lore to make a video by itself, but we thought we would put them together. And I think that what we can say is that the minions definitely come from the Void, or wherever Jack calls home. They're very hell-like creatures, like hell dogs almost. And obviously, if the dread wings, being if they are like crows or carrion in general, I mean those are the birds of death for a reason. And then you've got these summoners that are sort of, I like to think of them as similar backstories to the Ringwraiths as well, where there maybe were, maybe they're summoned, the wizards maybe resurrected past heroes, potentially like disembodied undead past heroes almost. But anyway.
Yeah, but with that, we don't have too much more confirmed information. So if we do get anything in the future, maybe in the next Fable game, we'll definitely revisit this topic, because definitely they're one of my favorite enemies in a fantasy setting. So hopefully we'll hear more about them in the future.
Absolutely.